Call this meeting of the Reno City Council order at 6 p.m. March 10th, 2014. That one, please rise. We'll have an invocation by Mayor Pro Tem Jordan and pledge to the United States and the Texas flags.
Shall we pray? Father, we thank you for the freedom that we have live in the United States of America, where we can freely gather and exercise our political rights and our opinions and our preferences. And Lord, we do pray that you bless this meeting tonight. Help us to do those things, be pleasing in your sight. It's beneficial for our community and beneficial for our fellow citizens. And Lord, we do pray that those things that we do will be honor and glorifying to thee. Bless our lives to your service. Help us to do those things that are just, and help us to show mercy where mercy is needed. And Lord, we'll be careful to thank you, for we ask it in Jesus' name, for his sake. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Roll call.
Joey McCarthy.
Here.
Rick Jordan.
Here.
Walter Cooper.
Here.
Let the record show absent Mike Chapman. Also present Mayor William Huberger, City Attorney David Hamilton, and City Secretary Kara Hubbard taping the minutes.
All right. Item 6, citizen comments. We have 6 people who have signed in to speak. I suppose all 6 of you that have signed up wish to speak on the disaster ordinance, the $9 a month charge. If you will bear with me just a second, I want to go ahead and do the ordinance. When I read the item, if we get a motion and a second, I'll stop right then and listen to all 6 of you will make your comments. If I do not get a motion and a second, that ordinance will be dead, it will be null, it will be void, it will not become law, it will not be enacted. After that, if you still want to make comments, we will allow you to make comments then. Is that agreeable to everyone? All right, item 7, regular business, discuss take action on reconsider disaster ordinance number 2014-1. Reconsider disaster ordinance number 2014-1. Does anyone wish to make a motion on that ordinance? If not, that ordinance will not be enacted. It will not become law. It's, the $9 a month charge is not going to happen. And anyone wish to speak under open forum now?
So it's over, right?
Ma'am?
We're not going to do it.
We're not going to do the $9 a month charge. No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there going to be another time when it might come up that...
If you would, Paul, I know who you on the council does, but just that way, if someone else comes up, I won't get in trouble with asking them who they are.
Paula McCadden, 875 Pine Valley Drive.
All right, thank you.
Will it come up again?
The only fair way I know to answer that is it could possibly come up again. I don't see it happening. Anything can come up again, but I do not see this coming up again in the form it was presented.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I would just like to say that my name is Don Dixon, and I live at 775 Mount Olive Road. And I would like to say that I think y'all made a good decision in not approving that. I know for a fact that there's been numerous people who have hired that work done, and I myself have done my own and haven't required help. In fact, I helped 2 of our neighbors finish up theirs. So I think it's a fair thing that not if anybody's going to pay it, it should be everybody. That just, to me, it would be. I've seen Joey down there putting his up too.
Yes.
We all pitch in, don't we?
Anyone else?
I'm Darnell Little. I live at 1695 Mansfield Road. And I feel like these other two, I don't even think the city ought to get involved in this. There's a lot of old people out there that's already took care of this, and that, as far as I'm concerned, it's just something that's put on the citizens that shouldn't be.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
My name's Helen Dixon, and I live at 775 Mount Olive. And if you have to do something like that, my suggestion is, why don't you do it like you do when you tell people that they have to keep their property clean and mowed, and send out a notice saying, if we have to come and do this, you will be charged for it. That's just one suggestion.
Well, good ideas.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon. Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak?
I'm J.R. Moore, 1683 Pine Up, not Pine Mill, I used to. If I haul that stuff off myself, am I later going to be charged for somebody else hauling it off?
Well, right now, the charge is history. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No, sir.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I'm not going to sit here and, we've got to clean the stuff up somewhere. We've got to dispose of what we picked up. The problem comes in when we first started picking up. Our goal was to clear the ditches, or the streets, and then the ditches and the city right-of-ways. The problem that arose, we had people who were literally taking limbs and dragging them out in the middle of the blasted street. After we picked up stuff in front of their house, they would drag more out in the street to get it picked up fast. We had people that worked against us instead of with us from day one.
There's one location over here now. It's a great, big, huge pile. And I don't know whether to hear or not, but anyway, them trees had been down for 3 years when they pushed them up to build that house. Well, since the ice storm hit, they put them all out there on the pile on the side of the street for the street to sit in here. And that ain't right.
No, it's not right. No one in the...
Can I still haul up here to the firecracker thing? Can I haul the limbs up there?
It's still open?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to be charged?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, thanks, sir.
You're not, well, to answer your question, you're not going to be charged directly. We're going to use some of your money that we've got somewhere to pay for disposing of that debris. We're not going to give you a bill, say you bring 10 yards, you owe us for 10 yards of debris. Everyone's going to pay a proportionate share.
I've been retired 17 years, and my little pension is based on what it was 17 years ago. And $9 a month will kill me paying the bill. That's just the way it is.
I agree.
And I thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, thank you all. Lord, I think you're the only one that signed up that hadn't said anything to you.
Come on up.
I just concur with just about what everybody said. Those who've already paid for it and that have already took care of it themselves, it would be right to, is the way I see it, to impose a fee on them. Now, I could see if somebody wanted to voluntarily do something like that, I could see that if they wanted to volunteer doing that, but let's not make it a mandatory kind of thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will, yes ma'am, you sure can.
If it does come up again, can I be notified through way of phone or mail? I don't get the Paris paper. No, can you do that?
I don't get it either. All right.
It'll be on the agenda, which is posted on Fridays, I believe.
Was it posted?
We'll call you.
Okay, I do appreciate it. We did get ours up. We do have like 3 or 4 trees that are still laying over in the pasture back behind us. The right-of-way by Pine Mill Road, the road was blocked. We cleared the road the very first thing. Some of the trees that are right there in that right-of-way are in the right-of-way. And there in the city of Reno, we got all that cleaned up. I do appreciate y'all not putting this on the people. The ones that haven't cleaned up, I can see where there would be a charge every month until maybe it got done or something like that. But it's been about $2,500 so far, and still not, got to finish up with those trees. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will say, I am very proud of each one of you that spoke. Y'all were very kind. Some of the phone calls I received, the rest of the council members were not very kind. We were called some names that, I won't say we didn't deserve, but we didn't deserve to be talked to like we got talked to. But, you all did get our attention. We saw we had a problem. We backed up. We're trying to do, your will. On the responsibility part, we've got a responsibility as leaders of the city to make sure the city's cleaned up. If we don't get this debris that's still laying there out of the ditches, when the spring rains start, and God, we can hope the spring rains do start, can't we? We're going to put water in people's houses that have never had water in them before. And then this room will be filled again. Why didn't you all pick this stuff up? When the limbs start falling out of the trees that are hanging over the roads, when they fall on someone's car, break a windshield, hurt someone or whatever. Why didn't y'all do something? We've got to do something. How we fund it is what we've got to look at, and we're going to look at later on. But right now, it will not be the $9 a month charge. Anyone at the council have anything they want to add?
Mayor, I'd just like to say, there's not a one of us here that wants to pay $9 more on our water bill. And we all pay our water bill just like every one of you do. There was 4 or 5 years ago, council did get a discount. Like the other committees and the planning and zoning and all of their own committees, they get a discount on their water bill, not much, but they do, and council got it too. Well, we did away with that about 4 years ago. And so we pay our water bill just like you all do. And there's not one of us that want to pay more. I'm constantly trying to figure out how I can keep my water bill down. If we made an error, and we did, it was for the right reasons. We're trying to do the right thing for the city and get the city cleaned up and not deplete our reserves, because we never know when we may have another emergency. A tornado or another ice storm between now and Easter. You can't, we just don't know. Or some sort of explosion or something. So we realized that that was a position that we had a second thought about recanting. But we're trying to do the right thing for all of our citizens, for the community. So, and not one of us want to pay more on our water bill. We're just like you are.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you all. I wish we'd get a crowd in here. Sometimes we don't have something where the hornets are flying. We meet the first Monday of each month and second Monday. I'm trying to rush it. Ms. McFadden mentioned about getting notified about the meetings. If you will go to the City of Reno website, renotexas.us, you can sign up for notifications about things that happen in the city. You can sign up when agenda is posted. You get an email telling you that agenda is posted.
Is that a secure website? Because I wouldn't want to start getting advertisements from everybody in their dog.
Yeah.
Now, it's secure for, you signing up for something like that. If the computers now, sometimes you'll get the message, the certificate of this website's not valid at all. Do you want to continue? If you'll go to the address bar on your search engine, and where it says HTTPS, if you'll take that S out, it will go to that website without a problem. And something else on the website. We've got an emergency notification system where you can sign up, bad weather, something going on like that, where you get a phone call, text, or an email. If the water's going to be off due to, maintenance or a leak in your area. We send notifications out to citizens in that area that their water's going to be off. You can sign up for various things like that. You know, we wish everyone in the city would sign up for it. Numerous people in Reno have not signed up for that service yet. But it'd be great if everyone would. All right, we'll move on to item B. Bids for debris cleanup and or disposal resulting from the December 2013 ice storm. We advertised for bids, open bids. What date, Kara? One day last week, week before last.
Of course, you can't sell the 27th.
The 27th of February. We received 2 bids. One bid was really what we consider a non-responsive bid. They did not bid the items we asked for. They just made an alternative proposal. One of the alternative proposals was pick up debris from the ice storm, the city of Reno, time 4 weeks, $25,000, and another one, it says $35,000, about extra equipment, complete it in 2.5 weeks. You know, really kind of a vague and ambiguous bid. And we received a bid from T&T Disaster Services. Their bid for picking up the debris, $4.47 a cubic yard, trimming the hangers from the right-of-ways. We're talking about hangers, we're talking about the limbs that are in the trees over the city streets that are potential hazard, $45 a tree. Disposal of all the vegetated debris, including the existing pile, $44,500. This is a firm that's doing the work in the city of Paris. I spoke with 2 of the city of Paris representatives today. They're more than satisfied with the work T&T's done for them. And we have a representative from T&T here if anyone would like to ask her questions or anything. All right, I suppose not. Before we take action on that item, we need to go to item C, financing the debris cleanup and disposal resulting from the December 2013 ice storm, including possible budget amendment. When we started looking at funding the ice storm, we were working on the impression the only funds we could use were funds we had in our general fund portion of the budget. Our budget's got, well, it's got more than 2 parts. It's got 2 major parts, general fund, system fund. System fund is water and sewer revenue. The general fund budget is very tight. We have just enough reserves to make the auditors, the bonding company, and all the people that look over our shoulder happy. We've got a little over 3 months reserve in the general fund. We did not have any idea that we could even dream of using any system fund money to fund this cleanup. We found out after the fact we can use system fund money to fund the cleanup. The system fund has got available funds in it that we can use to fund the cleanup. Get rid of the debris we've already picked up without placing undue burdens on any of our citizens. To date, we spent
$67,026.62.
And that's $67,000. That includes the period of time during the ice storm when we were pumping sewer, having pump trucks pump the sewer, we had lift stations down and all that. It's not all debris removal. Tara, will you come forward, please? Go ahead and let everybody know who you are.
I'm Tara Painter. I'm the owner of T&T Disaster.
You estimated about how many yards you think still will pick up?
I estimate, and it is an estimate, somewhere between 10 to 12,000. I actually think there's probably a little less than that, and I've not ridden your streets in the last week. I would say somewhere between 8 to 11,000.
Have you estimated how many hangers that need to be removed, how many trees?
I have not actually counted your hangers. What I did is I just did your road miles, and I rode a few roads in a variety of areas in the city and did an estimate that way, and I came up around 1,000.
If my math is correct, your estimate based on 10,000 yards and 1,000 hangers, we're looking about $134,000 somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yes, sir. I think I come up right around 120 something. I might have estimated the yardage a little bit less, but right around there.
And you said we've spent 67?
That's Friday.
And that also would include, as you know, burning your debris. And what we would do with that burn, and I put that in our bid package, it's a little close to the road and it's a little close to the fireworks stand. So what I would do is bring some of our units and actually put that debris in our trucks and move it to the backside for a safer burn environment. But that would all be inclusive in the estimate that I gave you.
So total with the best estimates we have is about $201,200 for what we've already done and what needs to be done. You know, I drove the streets Sunday afternoon and tried to get a guesstimate on the number of hangers and what's left to pick up. I don't think we're going to have anywhere near 1,000 trees hanging over the right-of-way that need to be trimmed, but you know, like I said, I didn't drive every street, I just spot checked. The amount of debris that's out there,
I think my estimate may be even a little high on your debris. Out 195, you have more concentration of debris on that area. And then, you know, it's somewhat hard to estimate because it is spread out. I mean, you have a lot of roads that don't have any debris. And so then you have some areas that have a couple of piles, and then you have some heavy. It's not a dead fast. Like I said, it's merely an estimate. And you're probably right. I'd rather tell you a little bit high and come in a little low than tell you low and your numbers come in a lot higher.
okay, is your bid, these three items, can we take 1, 2, or 3 out and you do one part of it, or is it all or none?
It's all or none. And just so that I can explain it to you guys, as you know, I'm cleaning up the city of Paris, and I know you don't know me from anybody, but you can call your FEMA rep or you can call anyone in our business, and they'll tell you that the price that I have for Paris and the price that I'm giving you is the lowest price ever in the last 15 years that I've been in the business that a town has ever been cleaned up for. And that's for a couple of reasons. What we do obviously is event driven. Last year there were no events. The whole world kind of was the scapegoat for that, so there wasn't a lot of work. Secondly, when we came in, and you still don't know, there was no surety that you guys were going to get federal funding, so we try to be reasonable. But in order for it to make sense for us, we're out of town and have equipment and guys, and for it to make sense, that the only way I could do it would be to do the whole project.
Tara, how much longer do you think you're going to be in Paris?
They're waiting on me in the council meeting to tell me that in just a minute, but 2 or 3 days. We've done 3 or 4 passes and just kind of chasing piles that people are putting out.
The rest of the week?
Yes, sir. Well, I say that. Again, they're waiting, we'll make that decision here shortly. Their estimate's much higher than, they had a lot more debris than they anticipated. A couple of days at least.
I see.
You don't have any other questions for Tara?
How long do we have? We've got to figure out where, in fact, we're going to get the money. So how long do we have? I know where your equipment's here.
You're not going to love my answer, and I don't know if Mr. Huberger told you, but I tried to get you guys to call a special meeting last week because, and it's only because we do have the manpower here, we have our resources here, but see how I can explain this the best. When you come in and you work at the places we work at, we need to get in and get out. And we have been in, today started the 7th week that we're in Paris because, you know, they had extra debris, which is okay. But we're at that point where we need to start shipping trucks out of here. Should have already shipped some out, kind of anticipating what was going on with you guys. I was going to send to get my bucket trucks in anticipation for this, but there was no surety, but I really need to get an answer.
Because, Mayor, we have to, if we go to the system fund, we have to have this for our attorney as well. We have to have a resolution or ordinance.
You can do either one, but I'd suggest an ordinance because it's a budget.
It's a budget total.
The way our agenda is worded tonight, if the council so chose, they could authorize the budget amendment to be prepared and enter into a contract to do the cleanup, and then us formally adopt the budget amendment at the next meeting. But they could go ahead and go to work on the debris cleanup since we've agreed to do the budget amendment, correct?
Sure, yes.
And it's not imperative to us, time frame, and you don't have to pay me in a week. I mean, as long as we know we're getting paid, we can move forward, that's fine with us.
So what would the amendment be for? The budget amendment for the $134,000?
Really, we need a budget amendment for, I would say, $200,000. Because if we don't, we're going to penalize our general fund budget by not being able to do some street repairs and drainage work that, you know, when I moved to Reno, they just started, I say we had just started a plan on street repair, maintenance, and drainage. The citizens of Reno voted, I think, either a 7 or 8% property tax increase on their, was it, how much, David?
7, wasn't it? 7 or 7.25, actually.
But, you know, dedicated to streets. Every year since then, we've spent a lot more money on streets and drainage than that 7 cents generated. And you know, we wouldn't be doing our job if we took that money earmarked for streets and drainage and spent it all for ice storm cleanup. You know, we need to do some maintenance on our streets. We need to do some capital improvements on the streets. You know, the streets in Reno are better than they've probably ever been. And that's through hard work like ex-Mayor Brooks back there, member of the street commission now. And I would really hate to see us stop that, even for a year. That's why I would suggest, you know, we do a budget amendment. It would be for, you know, for round numbers, I think $200,000 would, and if we don't need it all, we don't have to transfer it all. You know, we do that just like we said we were going to do in the $9 fee. If we don't spend the whole $200,000, whatever we don't spend stays in the system fund.
What's our reserve balance look like over there in the system fund?
Sir?
What's the reserve balance in the system fund?
The unaudited cash after the $96,000 that was transferred is about $865,000. $136.
So we've already paid back the general fund, that $70,000?
No.
Or is that included in the $200,000? Like
That would be in the $200,000.
That's all in the system, Karen, 800?
$865,136. It's an unaudited amount right now.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
That's what I thought. Almost. Last meeting.
It sure got quiet.
I make a motion, we amend the budget for $200,000.
I'll second it. I'm sorry, Mr. Cooper, were you done with your motion?
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Cooper that we authorize city staff, the city attorney, to prepare an ordinance to amend the budget, transferring $200,000 from the system fund to the general fund for ice storm cleanup.
Yes.
Any further discussion? Yes, sir, Mr. Hamilton.
I think the minutes probably in the motion should reflect that this is in response to the ice problem from December, and that the city considers this to be a state of emergency because of the other methods that have been tried and been unsuccessful, that it's not going to get cleaned up if you don't do it this way. And I think that's the factual basis necessary for the ordinance to issue and the budget to be amended.
All right, I'll do it again. Have a motion by Mr. Cooper, a second by Mr. Bell. Do you agree with what he said?
Yes, I agree.
You want to state that?
I'll just go ahead.
All right. I have a motion by Mr. Cooper, second by Mr. McCarthy, that we authorize city staff and city attorney to prepare an ordinance transferring $200,000 from the system fund to the general fund due to the emergency situation that exists because of the December 2013 ice storm, and because the general fund does not have sufficient funds to fund the cleanup on its own. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
All right, any further discussion?
May I say something?
Yes, sir.
Under the circumstances, it looks like that we are going to hire this firm to do this cleanup work. May I suggest then, under those circumstances, that we discontinue the policy of these people running around in pickups with empty flatbeds, because they're just wasting our money. And if you want some documentation on that, we can supply it. But it's silly. If they're going to clean it up, let them clean it up. There's no sense in us running around these white trucks with the flatbed.
Oh, you're talking about the hiring partners?
Yes,
I agree. That's good.
yes. You know, if
Exactly.
this passes and they authorize into the contract with TNT Disaster Services, the temporary workers will cease.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good idea.
That's the idea.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's back up to item B, bids for debris cleanup and or disposal Lord, why can't I say that word? Don't you laugh at me. Resulting from December 2013 ice storm.
Ms. Painter, when can you, if we do award the bid to you, when can you guys start?
I need to go and get our bucket trucks. Again, not knowing what decision you guys were going to make, we've not done that, and there was maybe a couple days from finishing Paris. So if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to start Monday or Tuesday.
So you're going to be through by Friday
I think.
in Reno?
Oh, in Reno? Yeah, hurry up doing that. It's not going to take as long as you guys think that it's going to go very quickly.
Tara, we do have the right to look at the trees in the right-of-ways and determine as well ahead of time how many there are there that need to be taken down.
Absolutely. And not only do you have the right, I need you to do that. I mean, we don't just go cutting trees. What'll happen, and it's up to you guys, I'm sorry, it's up to you guys how you
I'm going to
do
get
it.
elbowed.
Typically what happens is myself or one of my employees will go with whoever you guys designate, and we'll go to around, and we can do one of two things. We'll predetermine what trees need to be handled, and we'll mark them either with a ribbon or a dot of spray paint. Or you can have someone that goes with us on a daily basis, and myself and that person, or our project manager and that person will go get a couple. We want to stay ahead of the bucket truck. What we don't want is the bucket truck waiting for us to look at a tree and make a decision. So we can do it the entire city prior to, or we can do it on an ongoing basis, but we absolutely want you to identify what you want done.
Is that a Jerry job? You hear that, Jerry?
I mean, and we know what things are, but we want you to say that this is something that you know, that is a necessity to you, or no, you're not worried about it.
Thank you.
It's a state right away, or if it's a city road, or a state road.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, come on. Sure. Because I did call you out on it, so I figure you gotta respond to that.
Where are we going? Is there anything
Hold
we
on
can
just a
do?
second. For those that don't know, Jerry Rev is Public Works Director.
I know it's going to be cleaned up pretty quick. It's not going to take that long for them once they get started. We need to look at something to put out there and keep the brush that, we've got a lot of people with brush piled up in the backyard still and everywhere else. I mean, they make a quick sweep through here. Is it going to be right back out there for?
Because we have people that are calling up here that say, I can't put more out there because mine's still out in front. I don't have any room to put it out.
Well, see, that's something we're going to have to sit down when TNT starts to work and put something out for the public saying, get this stuff out. And plus, don't drag something out the street that's got green growth in it. If it's fresh cut stuff, they're not going to pick it up because, you know, we don't know yet 100% that we're not going to be eligible for FEMA funding. It's iffy right now, but it could happen. But if it happens, FEMA comes in and finds a lot of green growth in our disposal pile, they're going to say, not allowed. So, you know, if somebody drags out something green, it's going to have to stay there. They're going to dispose of it through the normal channels.
And if I can suggest to your answer, it's not Paris, it's I work all over the country, it's every city, it's everywhere. It doesn't matter how many times you tell people, this is the last time we're coming. I promise you, when my trucks leave here, if it's in 2 weeks or 2 months, you're gonna have people screaming that we didn't get their brush. What I would suggest that you do is run it now and tell them it's now. Don't tell them they have 2 weeks, tell them it's now. We're coming once. That's not the case. I mean, we're going to run this city, and if more debris comes out, we're going to stay until it makes sense, and y'all say, hey, we've got enough and we can handle it. But if you tell people we're coming back, and that's one of the things Paris is facing right now. We've removed 129,000 yards. There's probably another 60 or 70 in backyards, and they bring it out a wheelbarrow at a time. At some point, we have to go home. So my suggestion to you is make it a strong suggestion, however you put it out, the paper or whatever, but just tell them it's now. Tell them it's
Date.
That's the only way you're going to press upon them to try to get it out there.
Date certain, that after this date, no more pickups.
Thank you.
And we won't. I mean, not everybody will do it. But it'll be the majority of it out for you.
Okay, item B, bids for debris cleanup and or disposal resulting from December 2013 ice storm.
Mayor, I make a motion that we award TNT Disaster Services, LLC, the bid for the debris cleanup resulting from the December 13 ice storm.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. McCarthy, second by Mayor Pro Tem Jordan, that we award the debris removal, disposal, and collection to TNT Disaster Services. Anyone have any further comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to leave a couple cards. I didn't leave this here. I'll get with you in a minute.
Okay, we'll be
you.
in touch and we'll sit down and get things started.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Item D, request from Chief Birch to auction 3 vehicles, Ford Sport Track, Ford Crown Victoria,
Thank
and
you.
Ford Explorer. Y'all can move to the front.
One question, Mr. Chief Birch. On that Ford Explorer, does
The
that?
white one?
Yeah.
Well, they're all white. The Explorer and the truck.
Yeah. The Explorer, the one we seized, or you tried to seize.
Tried to seize.
Does that have to go back in the general fund, or can he put that in his seizure fund?
I don't think it's chapter 59.
It's not?
No, because it wasn't.
I saw that in there, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Tried, but no.
Well,
Right.
I tried for you too.
I tried afterwards, but no.
Is that the one that's out in the yard? That we had
The one you had the big hassle with, yeah. Be more valuable than scrap heap.
Said it was seized originally, can't he? Seized?
No, we didn't. You didn't file a seizure petition in time.
Oh,
Originally, we filed a seizure petition.
that's what I'm saying.
I thought it got,
I think it all going seizure for.
Back in the original case, when the original case happened.
There's documentation to file them seizure.
the seizure.
I didn't file it.
Oh, so we could have filed it again? Is that what you're saying?
No, you only got 30 days to do it from the time you pick it
I thought
up.
it was filed, denied, and given back to the people, and the people never picked it up.
Yeah,
So
that's what it
then-
was.
So by the time that happened, the 30 days to seize it under 59 had expired. We had to do something else more creative than that just to get it towed off the lot.
Mayor, I make a motion that we authorize Chief Birch to auction 3 vehicles, a Ford Sports Track, a Ford Crown Victoria, and a Ford Explorer.
I second.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Jordan, a second by Mr. Cooper, that we authorize Chief Birch to auction 3 vehicles, Ford Sports Track, Ford Crown Victoria, and Ford Explorer. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, Poison Prevention Week, March 16th, 22nd, 2014 proclamation. You know, we should have stuck that under the consent items.
Telling you.
I said we. That's just a proclamation we received from, I believe it was Parkland, wasn't it? Asking we, y'all, issue a proclamation that observes the Poison Control Week, or Poison Prevention Week. I really don't know that we need any formal action on that, do we, Counselor?
No.
Proposed contract with Velvet and Weeds Consulting Engineers, Inc. That is the contract we authorized after the executive session at our last meeting. We entered with Velvet and Weeks for engineering during the litigation with Lamar County Water Supply. But we do need formal action on this.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we enter into a contract with Velvet and Weeks Consulting Engineers Incorporated for the city of Reno.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Jordan, a second by Mr. McCarthy, that we enter into the contract with Velvet and Weeks Consulting Engineers. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item G, Chief Birch and Mayor Huberger attending 2014 Texas Emergency Management Conference in San Antonio, May 12th to 15th, 2014.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that yourself and Chief Birch attend the 2014 Emergency Management Conference in San Antonio. Wow. The 12th through the 15th of March, 2014.
May.
May.
It's too late for March.
Yeah, they take off. Maybe you find a different way to fund this cleanup while you're down there.
Maybe we can find a different way to do like that.
I second.
A motion by Mr. McCarthy with a second by Mr. Cooper that allow Chief Birch, Mayor Huberger to attend the 2014 Texas Emergency Management Conference. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item H, City Prosecutor attended the 2014 TMCEC Prosecutors Conference, March 24th, 26th, 2014 in Austin. What does
Texas Municipal
TMCEC?
Courts Education Center.
Yeah, Texas Municipal Courts Education Center. They sponsor this, all this and clerks conferences every year. The ones I taught for 2 years.
I will support this under one condition,
No.
that when you come back, You give me a definition of what the difference between a tax and a fee is.
Yeah, we talked about that, we can. I know what it's called if a court upholds it, I know what it's called if they overrule it. I can tell you right now what the difference is.
May I make a motion that we approve the city attorney attending the 2014 TMCEC Prosecutors Conference, March 24th, 26th in Austin.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Jordan, a second by Mr. McCarthy. We allow the city prosecutor to attend the TMCEC Prosecutors Conference, March 24th, 26th in Austin. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll skip item I right now. Let's go down to consent items. Discuss, take action on A, approval of monthly bills and purchase orders for February 2014. B, set time and date for spring cleanup, April 12th, 13th, 2014 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. C, approval of minutes from the February 10th and 22nd, 2014 City Council meetings. D, financial update as of February 28th, 2014. E, monthly activity reports from February 2014 from 1, Public Safety Officer, 2, Police Department, 3, Public Works Department, 4, Reno Volunteer Fire Department.
Under that item, can you tell them about the trailer that we got? Under that item, can you talk about the trailer that we got today? Tell the council about the trailer for the cleanup.
I can't hear you. Oh. Yeah, I'll do that in a minute.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of
She lost me. All right, we'll go ahead and consent items.
I make a motion we approve consent items A, B, C, D, and E. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Mr. Cooper, a second by Mr. McCarthy. We approve consent items, item A through E4. Any further discussion?
He wants to say something.
Hey, go ahead.
The spring cleanup, we generally take brush and breathe.
You won't get none this year, buddy.
Throw it. Kind of see where I'm going with this one.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That we're going to probably, more than likely, hopefully, they're done and through and out of here by then. So, maybe something else we need to look at.
Why don't we move it up?
You know, I knew I should have told him no.
That way there's going to be I don't know, just something I'm thinking about.
Well, you know, I don't want to see us publicize spring cleanup, bring you brush, tree limbs and all that stuff with what's going on right now. But by the same token, if someone brings it, we really need to accept it because we're going to pick it up anyway because they're going to put it in the ditch. We need to really publicize, get your debris out right now.
Yeah. Maybe we can put a little bit more of an emphasis on getting rid of the brush right now while we're doing this.
Well, and then...
And the spring cleanup would be nice to do the recycling, you know, and to do
That's what I recycle.
If they have green growth on any limbs, that's the time, place to spring cleanup.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
That's what break the fish.
Something to think about. All right. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On the spring cleanup, we applied for a grant back sometime last year for a recycling trailer from COG, the Arkansas, Texas Council of Governments that we're part of. We were awarded a recycling trailer at no cost to the city of Reno. It came in today. We found out today we had been awarded the trailer. I'd heard through the grapevine we were going to get one, but kept waiting for a phone call or something. Well, they showed up with it today. We're proposing to use that trailer to collect aluminum cans right now. They've suggested that, recycling, we start small and then build on it. The aluminum cans are probably the best thing to start collecting. The Kiwanis Club has agreed to participate and help us with that recycling program. So we'll be getting that up and running here just as soon as possible. All right, item 7I, litigation contract for Lamar County Water Supply. Unless there's an objection from the council, that item needs to be heard in executive session. Hearing none, the city council will adjourn into the executive session at 6:51 p.m. to discuss item I, litigation contract for Lamar County Water Supply as allowed under Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. Let the record show the city council's returned to open session at 7:21 p.m. Item 7I, litigation contract with Lamar County Water Supply. Let the record show that no action taken in the executive session under that item. No further items on the agenda. I will declare the meeting adjourned.